Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
at the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova. Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. My God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right. Let's talk Yankees Royals. We are a bit late on this series recap as I'm currently recording. It's Saturday the 14th, about 3 p.m. as I'm starting to record this. So the Yankees have already finished their first game against Boston, in which they obviously lost because that's what they do against decent teams. And we're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to wait till we recap this Red Sox series to talk about the Red Sox series. We're going to talk about some good things and go over this series sweep that the Yankees picked up over the Kansas City Royals. The Kansas City Royals are becoming a team the Yankees dominate. They sweep the Royals in KC. They own them. They are now 8-0 against them, stretching back to last postseason at the end there. You know, AL Central teams, the Yankees usually fare well against them. So we'll talk about it. And we're going to get right into it. Just, again, I have been very busy, and I'm going to get even busier this summer, so there will be some episodes I can't get to. But we will try to, on certain days, if I'm very busy for certain series or certain weeks, I'm going to try to double up and do, like, if I miss a series, I'll try to double up and do 2 series in one at the end of the week or something like that. There might be more of that this year, but for the most part, we still are going to aim for every series doing a recap. So, with that said, let's discuss this Yankees-Royals series. Before the series itself, just some injury stuff. Luke Weaver seems to be nearing a return. He's throwing already, and he feels great, he says. I think from the get-go, I had an idea. I've also heard this floated around on a couple of podcasts, and I think I agree with it. This seems like a trademark Phantom DL stint to me, if I've ever seen one. I mean, Luke Weaver, it was very possible that he was on pace to throw a career high in innings this year. Somebody who really hasn't been used in this much of a workload until he got to the Yankees. I think the Yankees just wanted to give him some time off. I think they wanted to get a feel of where Devin Williams is as a closer. You know, does he look good? Can we try to weave him back into that role? No pun intended. And, you know, the fact that Weaver was already throwing 3 days after the Yankees announced his DL stint would be possibly 6 weeks long, I find that pretty hilarious. So I do think he'll be back. Weaver, a lot closer than people think. A guy in the bullpen who might not be back at all is Jake Cousins, who had a setback. And the Yankees took him off his rehab assignment. His elbow is acting up. He went to get some opinions on it. I don't know if it's been reported yet, but I'm pretty sure this looks like something that could be bad. And we could be headed for Tommy John surgery, or at least something that will take him out for the majority of the year. So that's not good that the Yankees possibly will lose their righty-on-righty weapon, but when you look at a guy like Jay Cousins and as good as he's been for them, he's a guy who spams sliders. He's a slider guy. And when you throw so many sliders at that arm angle that he releases the ball at, it's a recipe for disaster, and it's hard to not see that coming. So I was kind of hoping that he'd be back, and he's I think he's a big piece to their bullpen. This makes other right-handed pitchers like Hamilton and Loizaga even more paramount and more key to get back on track. Hamilton with his Slambio pitch and Loizaga doing his thing with that two-seamer at 98. Those guys are now that much more important, but the Yankees they're lacking in their bullpen. It's not been a great bullpen. I expected it to be a top 5, top 3 bullpen. It's not been anything close to that. So I think they need to trade for at least one reliever soon. But I honestly think they're going to have to make a big name addition to that bullpen and stop trying to have Matt Blake do magic on randoms all the time. But in the meantime, even just to give some of these guys some relief and some rest, like you might see Clayton Beater get a promotion. You might see this other guy, Brubaker, who I've been constantly hearing about but haven't seen him pitch yet. I don't remember what happened to Gomez. If he's hurt, probably is. That's why he's not been here. But yeah, they need some help. So that's what Jay Cousins, Jazz Chisholm, down again. Honestly, I forget what it is this time. This guy's always yapping, and then he ends up getting hurt and never backing it up. I honestly forget what it is that's bothering him this time. He says he's fine. Didn't play yesterday. The Yankees and him say he's expected to play tonight. We'll see. But they need him, certainly. He needs to be back, and he needs to get right. And then Giancarlo Stanton, playing rehab games. Looks very good in these rehab games. Played a series, or played a couple of games. Was hoping he'd be back for this Fenway series. He's been ready for weeks. I don't think it would have been a big problem to start him. Kills Fenway Park. It's like the Yankees are so afraid to go off script. They did the same thing with the scheduled day off with Jazz Chisholm, the other series. And now Giancarlo Stanton in this upcoming Boston series here. Didn't play last night. Probably not going to play this weekend. It bothers me because the Yankees play these games with their analytics and they have these scheduled days off and everything is scripted, but they lack the ability to every so often go off script. Like they will not bend. They won't break. They are going to stay to what the clipboard and the analytics say, which bothers me. But hopefully Stanton's back for this next series after Boston. The rotation with Stanton in it should be interesting. How do they find at-bats for everybody? Ben Rice. Goldschmidt, will he get some days off here down the stretch? He has been slumping. As long as Dominguez gets everyday reps, I'm cool. Because what is going on right now with Dominguez is a bit ridiculous. It's gotten worse in terms of his lack of playing time. But yeah, the Stanton DH rotation is kind of the most boring conversation of all time, to be honest, for me. I'm just going to let it play out, and whatever happens, happens. It's good to have an extra bat on the bench, like a starting bat is always going to be on the bench. That's huge to come in the game, and if somebody's... You got a lefty on the mound, and you have Stanton sitting one game, and you could bring him off the bench, or you got Goldschmidt, or you got a righty on the mound, righty reliever in the game. You're bringing Bellinger in or Rice in. it's a good problem to have, cliche, but it is. It can be. But yeah, I need Jason Dominguez to not be a guy who gets iced out. He needs to start playing more baseball games. And by no means has Jason Dominguez been that good this year. He's been okay. That's not the point. He is the Yankees' number one prospect who altered their decision-making for years in the offseason. Because they were looking at this kid to be a big part. No, we're not going to spend on this guy and that guy because we have Dominguez. And the fact that this guy, the fact that he's started in just 53 of their 68 games this year, that's 78%, that's embarrassing. Clearly the Yankees have a different plan than what we think they should have a plan for. With Grisham back down to earth, you thought Dominguez would be getting everyday reps at this point. What are we doing here? Maybe the Yankees just don't like him much at all because he can't play the field, because he seems to have a boom or bust profile at the plate, because he can't hit right-handed. But again, don't you think it's a bit counterproductive to not play him every day? You can at least raise his trade value by giving him more reps against left-handed pitching and not sitting him when he has a lefty on the mound, when there's a lefty on the mound. So as underwhelming as he's been, I do still think there's something there to where we should be getting more looks at Dominguez. I think he's got left-handed power. I think he's got on-base skills. We've seen the on-base this year. The base running and hustle has been there. The athleticism is there, and the arm is there, which means that there's still a ceiling for him to be an average left fielder. So I just think Dominguez needs to play every day, no matter who's healthy, who's not, who's hitting, who's not. He needs to be a consistent left fielder for this team. And I think it's embarrassing. It goes all the way back to last year, the way they handled him with Verdugo, and they bullshitted you about Verdugo. The defense. Guys, stop. The guy should be playing every day. Let's get to the series against the Royals. Back to this Royals series. I went off script there, like the Yankees don't. Game 1 of this series took place on Tuesday, where the Yankees won over KC 10-2. The lefty Max Fried took the bump against the lefty Noah Cameron. Yankee bats 10 runs, 16 hits, 6 extra base hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, 6 for 16 in scoring position. Against Cameron, they scored 6 runs in 5 2/3. They're usually strong against left-handed pitching with deep pitch mix. Well, not strong. They usually struggle against left-handed pitching. Guys who are lefty and have like deep pitch mixes, they never really handle well. Noah Cameron's a guy who's four-seam slider, changeup, cutter, curve will throw the kitchen sink at you, much like the guy in the next game they faced. He'll use his off-speed pitches very evenly through, too. The Yankees punished him. Aaron Judge, top of the first, a 470-foot home run, 2-0 Yanks. One of the farthest home runs you are going to see. Top 4, Austin Wells, 3-run home run, 5-1 Yanks. And they get to the Royal bullpen. 4 runs and 3 1/3. Top of the 6th, they got to him there, where they exploded. They exploded for some more runs. 4 more runs in the top of the 6th against the righty Clark. Wells hits the 2-run double, 7-1. Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, RBI singles to make it 10-1 Yankees. So Dominguez in this game goes 3 for 5, all right-handed. Couple of bloops, one real right-handed hit, but hit's a hit. Grisham goes 2 for 4, walk, RBI. Judge 2 for 5, home run, 3 RBIs. Volpe 2 for 5, double. LeMahieu 2 for 3, double, 2 walks. Wells 2 for 4, home run, double, 5 RBIs. Jazz Chisholm 1 for 4, a double, a stolen base, and he made the E5 in this game as well. Max Fried took the mound, went 7 really strong innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts only, 1 home run, 91 pitches, but he got the win, inducing a ton of ground ball outs in this game. If it wasn't a strikeout, it was a ground ball out, especially with his 4-seam and changeup, getting all those ground balls. So he remains fantastic. Good for him. Remains their ace. Not going to lie, I'm still thinking about the Dodgers start, but he's got a chance to buy me back in a little bit with Boston on Sunday. So we'll see what he does then. The bullpen, 2 innings, no runs. De Los Santos got all of the 8th and most of the 9th before struggling. Finishes an inning and 2/3, no runs on 3 hits and 2 walks with a strikeout. But Tim Hill did come in and get the final out in the 9th there on 6 pitches. So that was your game on Tuesday, where the Yankees once again won 10-2. Wednesday's game, you got Clark Schmidt, the righty, against the lefty Bubic. The Yankees win 6-3, 8 hits, 4 extra base hits, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. Grounded into 1 double play. They were 3 for 8 in scoring position against Bubic. 5 runs and 4 1/3. Top 2. The Yanks score 5. Volpe with an RBI. He goes 1 for 4 with a double and the RBI. Wells, an RBI double to make it 2-0. He goes 1 for 4 with a double. Goldschmidt goes with he goes 2 for 5, 2 RBIs. Top 2, he picks up a 2-run base hit to make it 4-zip, and then Rice the RBI single, making it 5-0. His only hit, he was 1 for 5 with an RBI and a stolen base. The Royal bullpen, the Yankees got 1 run in 4 2/3. That came in the top of the 7th against the righty Cruz. Judge hit his 25th home run of the season in this game, in this inning. It was a 99-mile-an-hour 4-seamer that he took the other way with ease. So, special. 6-0. He goes 1 for 4, homer, walk, RBI, and a stolen base. Also in this game, Bellinger 1 for 4, triple. Grisham over 3 with a walk. Couple of fantastic plays in center field. And LeMahieu 1 for 3 with a walk. Clark Schmidt pitched in this game. We'll talk more about him in a bit. The bullpen goes 3 innings, 3 runs. Hedrick got all the 7th and some of the 8th. Inning and a third, no runs, 2 hits, a strikeout. Cruz got the final couple of outs in the 8th. No base runners. And then Leiter got some of the 9th, but he was so awful he couldn't finish it. 1 inning, 3 runs, a home run, 4 hits, an unofficial E5 from Peraza. Leiter makes the E1. He was a disaster, and so he gets pulled in a 6-3 game with the tying run on deck for Devin Williams. Williams comes in, gets the final 2 outs, no problem. So, thank God. So I didn't like how Boone wasted a lot of high leverage arms in this game. Cruz, Leiter, and Williams in what was a blowout. I thought Schmidt could have easily started the 7th inning. I know third time through numbers aren't great. Hedrick could have fought through the trouble in the 8th there, I thought, but whatever. No real qualms outside of that. And then Thursday's game, the Yankees took this one 1-0. The righty Warren against the righty Seth Lugo. Warren goes 5 2/3, no runs, 4 hits, a walk, 4 Ks, no home runs, 77 pitches, gets the win. I thought he mixed up his pitches well. I thought he used his curveball effectively against their lefties. That was something new. That's a pitch he added in so he could be more effective against lefties this year. And so, yeah, 5 2/3 innings, no runs. Wanted to see him get out of that 6th there, but regardless, did a very nice job. He's been good for the Yankees. I know people look at the ERA. It's a bit inflated. You look at that Dodgers start, it was a nightmare. Outside of that, he's at least giving you a chance to win every game. He's been fine for rookie number 5. Temper your expectations. I get he's not doing this against elite lineups, but are you expecting your rookie number 5 to do that? Give the kid a chance. He's been good. He's got good stuff. The strikeout numbers say that. He's fine. The bullpen, 3 1/3, no runs. Tim Hill got some of the 6th, most of the 7th. 1 inning, no runs, 1 walk. Leiter gets the final out of the 7th there. No runs in an inning and a third. 1 hit, gets the win. Lasagna got all the 8th. Williams got the 9th. Yankee bats, just 1 run on 5 hits, 4 singles, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. They were 1 for 6 in scoring position. Did not score against Lugo, who won 5 2/3. They were able to score against Urseg, He was a very good reliever for the Kansas City Royals in the top of the 8th. Goldschmidt with an RBI base hit. So that was it. But that's your series. I do want to start off by tipping my cap. And let's start in the bullpen, because I think that Devin Williams deserves respect. This is his 4th time that we're tipping our cap to him this year. On Wednesday, he gets the 9th. He goes 2/3 of an inning. No runs, no base runners. Picks up 1 strikeout, gets the save. And then in this game, on Thursday, he pitches in the 9th inning again. 1 inning, no runs, 1 more strikeout, gets the save. It's the fastball command that's been better, right? When his fastball command is on, that screwball becomes the best pitch in baseball. When they have to respect your fastball and you're 95 spotting it, your screwball is unhittable. And you're starting to see that more in his last number of outings. Hopefully this is something that keeps up. We'll see where he goes as far as his role in the future. But it's a positive sign that Devin Williams, in a bullpen that's been way too up and down, is starting to find his consistency. So we're tipping our cap to him for the 4th time this year. Yes, the season numbers overall don't look great. 5.68 ERA, 130 whip. But he's still striking guys out, and he's starting to prevent runs more and more. So good for him. On the mound, we're going to go and tip our cap to Clark Schmidt. And I believe this is Clark Schmidt's first time receiving a tip of the cap. Because on Wednesday, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was the best starting pitcher of the series. You could argue Max Fried, but you could even argue Will Warren. But I thought Schmidt, 6 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, no home runs allowed, 91 pitches, gets the win. Deserves it. You know, he's missing bats now, which is a positive. When he was younger in his career as a relief pitcher, he did not do that. He did not miss bats. And even when the Yankees put him as a starting pitcher for the first time in 2023, he didn't miss bats. But last year and so far this year, and I know that's a small sample, his whiff rates and his K rate, they're up. He's missing more bats. And I think a lot of that has to do with his pitch mix just being more effective. He's finding a formula. You know, sweeper and curveball, he gets a ton of whiffs with those pitches. His curveball remains his best weapon against lefties. You saw that in this game. That's a big deal. His sweeper has become a devastating pitch against righties. You saw that in this game. His cutter remains a good pitch for him against righties. That'll get some whiffs too. Not as much, but it gets whiffs. And in this game, you saw him go to both sides of the plate with a cutter, going into righties. You know, it's good to see him starting to miss bats, because I always thought he spins the ball way too much. He moves the ball so much, like to where the strikeout numbers shouldn't ever be low. And again, it's nothing crazy, but it's above average. So that's good to see. And that's why I think these last 2 seasons, this year and last year, he's been the best he's ever had. He's been consistently solid. You know what you're getting from him. You're getting a quality start, or flirting with a quality start, give or take. You're getting a guy who's going to keep you in the game. And it's because of that. You know, he's going deeper into games now. That's a good thing. It's something to watch going forward with the workload for sure. But the fact that he's found a way to incorporate the right pitches at the right times is helping him miss more bats, helping him become better against left-handed hitting, and it's allowing him to go deeper into games. So, good for Clark Schmidt. We're tipping our cap to him. Now, let's talk about Austin Wells and Anthony Volpe, who many people donned last year, at least, the Chicken Parm Bros. They're both hitting at the same time right now, and it's been pretty fun to watch. You know, Austin Wells in the 9 hole, I kind of like that. You know, it's funny because you think back to spring training and even opening day, I believe, he was supposed to be their leadoff hitter this year. But metrically, he's not getting on base a ton. And, metrically, he's also one of their worst hitters on the team. So 9 is the perfect spot for him right now. And Volpe is doing his job consistently in the middle of the order. But what I like from both of them right now is they're both getting singles and doubles a ton too. Like, it's not just fluky home run stretches for them. They're hitting in volume. They're reaching base, walks, singles, doubles. Volpe on the year has a .248 batting average with a .767 OPS in 67 games this year. His on-base percentage is 28 points higher than it was last year. He's walking 3% more. His slug is 82 points higher. His OPS plus is 27 points higher than it was last year. He's on pace for a career high in doubles and in RBIs. He's second in doubles among all shortstops in baseball, American League and National League. He's tied for fourth in RBIs among all shortstops in baseball. So he's just got to keep this up, right? Because this next, 60% of the season for Volpe, the rest of the way here, is very important for him. Because literally this exact time last year, 60-something games into his season last year, he was peaked. He peaked. And his numbers started to dip big time right here last year after a hot start, just like this one. So I think that's something to look out for here. With a kid like Volpe who's got a very small frame, durability is important, right? It's been an issue before where the more he plays, the production falls off. He's played damn near every game since he's been called up. That's something that I think is going to be important. The Yankees don't like to give him days. It might, spelling him a day here and there might help him because the production is very important that we're getting right now. So I am going to be looking out to see how he does from here on. But there's been this weird narrative, and mostly from miserable fans, that he's not been consistent enough. He's literally spent 64 of the 67 games that he's played this year with an above average OPS. That's a fact. The league average for OPS is 711. He's spent all but 3 games above that mark this season. He's been as consistent as he could be. It's weird with Volpe because it's like the Yankees fans have an obsession with criticizing him. And I was on that bus for 2 years. But I'm going to give a guy credit when he deserves it. And a lot of Yankees fans push for homegrown talent. Play the kids. Play the youths. This and that. Yet, the moment that somebody like Volpe slips up, whether it's a mistake like he made last night in Boston, or it's a tough at-bat, or it's a bad game overall, he's a bust all of a sudden, right? I just don't get it because the kid has finally been delivering at the plate, giving everybody what they were asking for, while he's been elite in base running and very good at shortstop all year. And now he's adding in offensive production. But nobody acknowledges that part, ever. And it's just odd. It's odd for a fan base who claims to love homegrown talent and advocate it for more than anybody else in the league, to constantly criticize Volpe and Dominguez and all the top prospects that they've had. You're asking for young players, yet you forget that young players make way more mistakes than veteran players. They're going to have ups and downs. Volpe, Dominguez, Warren, maybe lay off them just a little bit. Young players take time. Progress is not always linear. It's going to be a second. The kid's been good. He's having a good year. He's swinging the bat harder. He has launch angle in his swing again. Thank God, by the way. Flattening Anthony Volpe's swing last year may have been about the dumbest thing the Yankees could have ever did. Now that he's got more launch angle, he's hitting for more power. He's barreling the baseball again. He's punishing fastballs, despite an odd narrative that he isn't hitting fastballs. He's hitting fastballs really well. He's not chasing as much at all this year, which is helping him get on base more because those breaking balls outside the zone haven't been as bad of an issue for him. He's going with pitches. If the pitch is outside, he's taking it to right field. If it's inside, he's pulling it to left. He's going up the middle. He's hitting left-handed pitching. And my personal favorite part of his game this year, he's using his speed to create offense. He beat out a double play in his first at-bat on Tuesday to allow Bellinger to score. He stretched a base hit into a double, I think, in the second at-bat of that game. We were screaming that from the mountaintops before the season. We want to see him use his speed more. So Volpe's hitting. Austin Wells, 224 batting average on the year, a 469 slug, 11 homers, 42 RBIs, and a 109 OPS plus this year. He's been hot the last couple of weeks. He is mashing lefties this year. Remember that? Last year, he lost playing time earlier in the season because he was so pathetic left on left. In fact, last season overall, he finished with a 197 batting average and a 227 slug against lefties. This year, he's 246 with a 551 slug. That's huge. The at-bats against Crochet. The at-bats against some of the lefties in this Royals series. Again, he needs to stop chasing, get that walk rate up, but we saw better at-bats against the Royals. The at-bat on Tuesday he had in the top of the fourth inning was excellent. It was a 9-pitch at-bat against the lefty Noah Cameron. He spit on a couple of sliders in the dirt, fouled off a bunch of fastballs and off-speed pitches, and he ends up punishing a hanging changeup for a home run. Beautiful at-bat. We talked about the last Boston series, his at-bats against Crochet, the double, the home run. So I think what makes the offensive production right now impressive between Volpe and Wells is that it's decent hitting, but that's combined with great base running and great defense, right? Volpe's been excellent on the bases. He's been very good at shortstop. He made a Jeter play in the Royals series, and he made another really good, great rangy play last night against the Red Sox. Austin Wells has been, as we know, an elite level framer. Does he have a good arm? No. Does that concern me a little bit, especially in the playoffs? Yes, because Escar doesn't have an arm either. But his framing, for as long as framing is going to be a thing, has been top-notch, 91st percentile. So Volpe and Wells continue to do their thing. I'm going to, though, tip my cap to Austin Wells over Anthony Volpe. I was deciding between them two and Judge. But let's go to Austin Wells, and let's tip our cap to him. In this series specifically, he was 3 for 8, 6 RBIs, 375 batting average, 1375 OPS, 2 doubles, a home run. He was fantastic, and he just played 2 games. He sat that final game for Escara. But yeah, on the season, you see the numbers there, like we mentioned. The 769 OPS is very strong. The 11 home runs. The 42 RBIs. And that's his first time now. This is his first time this season where we're tipping our cap to him. So good job, Austin Wells. Big part of this team. Need him to hit. When he hits, it's just fun to watch because he hits the ball hard, line drives. And again, it's a bunch of singles and doubles. It's not just home runs. So good to see that. And it's just a reminder that this lineup is deep. That even when certain guys aren't on, other guys are always picking up the slack. I think a lot of Yankees fans need to stop bitching about this lineup so much. This lineup can hit. They've done about everything we've been asking for them to do, right? It's the best, most powerful, most balanced, most consistent lineup, the deepest lineup that we've seen since 2009. There's production 1-9. We were bitching about that all last year. They're hitting left-handed pitching better than anybody else in baseball. We cried about that all of last year. They have lefty-righty balance. Yeah, they have a little, one too many lefties on this team, but Stanton's due back. And they're deep. 10 players on this team. 10 players on this team have a WRC plus above the league average 100 mark. Judge has been amazing. Grisham has still been productive enough. He's starting to hit. Goldschmidt, I know he's slumping a bit, He's been better lately, quietly. I know before last night he was over, but Goldschmidt's been good. Rice still going strong, hitting into some tough luck. Okay, people got to realize that. But he's still going strong. Hopefully he can start hitting soon because it's been brutal. LeMahieu, it's early. Looks healthy. Never thought we'd even get however amount of games it's been, 15 games or so. I didn't even think he had that in him. Showing it so far. Bellinger's had a solid season. Volpe, Wells, Dominguez, Jazz. They can produce offense, guys. So that's all I got on that. We're going to head to a break, get back, and wrap this one up. Let's get to it.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. Love BD4 but don't have the time to sit down and watch? Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review. It helps us grow and keeps the conversation going. Want everything BD4 in one place? Head to our website at bd4blog.com. You'll find links to every podcast platform, social media, and even our blog, where we dive deeper into all things BD4. Check it out now and stay connected.
All right, welcome back to the show. Episode 876 of the podcast here. The Yanks bounce back strong in Kansas City with a sweep, 3-0 in the series. Up next, we've got to finish this Boston series. The Yanks dropped one last night. We'll talk about that in this upcoming series that we do against the Red Sox when we recap this. But they have 2 more games this weekend here, tonight and tomorrow night, Saturday, Sunday. They need to win against the Red Sox. Simple as that. They need to take this series or else I'm going to have a hard time taking them too serious. So that's that. Let's wrap it up now with our trivia, and that will be that. Okay. Trivia question for episode 876 here. Here it is. Which 2 Yankees pitchers won their 200th career games in back-to-back games in 2004? All right, which 2 Yankees pitchers won their 200th career games in back-to-back games in 2004? Let me know the answer where you can reach me. And if you get the answer correct, I'll give you a shout out in the next episode. I'll read your social media handle if you get the answer correct. I appreciate you all. Always do appreciate it. And I'll see you all very soon when we're talking Yankees Red Sox. Later. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.